Hello everyone. Welcome back all of you on Wondering Minds YouTube प्लेटफॉर्म। कैसे हैं प्यारे दोस्तों आप सभी। दोस्तों जैसा कि आप सब जानते हैं हमने अपना रैपिड फायर सेशन सीरीज़ को स्टार्ट किया हुआ है। आज हम उसका पार्ट 4 कंटिन्यू करेंगे। इससे पहले जिन्होंने हमारे रिमेनिंग 3 पार्ट्स नहीं देखे हैं, जिनमें बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंट्स बताए गए हैं जो अपकमिंग यूजीसी नेट एग्ज़ाम और किसी भी इंग्लिश लिटरेचर के कॉम्पिटिटिव एग्ज़ाम के लिए बेनिफिशियल होने वाले हैं, आप सब उन तीनों पार्ट्स में से एक बार गो थ्रू हो जाएं। अब ज़्यादा समय ना लेते हुए हम अपना पार्ट 4 कंटिन्यू करते हैं। इससे पहले आपने अगर हमारा चैनल सब्सक्राइब नहीं किया है तो आप उसे सब्सक्राइब कर लें, और वीडियोस अगर आपको पसंद आ रही हैं, जो कंटेंट आपको प्रोवाइड किया जा रहा है वो अगर आपको अच्छा लग रहा है तो आप ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा लाइक एंड शेयर भी करें और वंडरिंग माइंड प्लेटफॉर्म को सब्सक्राइब करें। इसके अलावा हमारे व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप्स और टेलीग्राम ग्रुप को भी ज्वाइन करें, जहां डेली 9 PM क्विज़ेस कंडक्ट करवाई जाती हैं and all questions are relevant for exam point of view. Now let's come to the first slide, dear learners. Our first and most important point according to exam point of view is cultural feminism is a theory invented by Buchi Niketa, which she called feminism with a small letter f. Our next and most important point, that is the theme of William Shakespeare's tragedy King Lear is redemption of evil by the glory of virtue. Our next point, that is there are three kinds of irony in literature, that is verbal irony, irony of situation, and dramatic irony. Our next point, the pioneer of horror tragedy was John Webster, and his Duchess of Malfi is supposed to be the best example of this kind of tragedy. Our next and important point, that is the theme of John Bunyan's allegory Pilgrim's Progress, is the journey of human soul to heaven. Our next point, that is Leslie Stephen was a great critic of Shakespearean plays. The famous writers who gave negative criticism on Shakespeare are Leo Tolstoy, Voltaire, Samuel Pepys, Robert Greene, G.B. Shaw, and J.R.R. Tolkien. Our next and most important point is Richard Steele and Joseph Addison were the pioneers of the coffee houses literature. Our next and most important point, that is John Galsworthy's play Silver Box attacks the uneven trend of justice. The play is three-act comedy. The title Silver Box stands for cigarette box. Our next and important point, that is Decameron is a collection of tales by Boccaccio. The tales were told and heard by 7 ladies who left Florence when the plague broke out in the city. Our next and important point about Nicholas Udall wrote first English comedy Ralph Roister Doister in 1553, which was based on the model of Plautus and Terence. It is regarded as the first comedy to be written in the English language. Our next important point Martin Luther in Germany, John Calvin in France, Geneva Zwing in Switzerland, and John Knox in Scotland were the principal leaders of Reformation. Read it again, dear learners. This is very most important point. Our next point is William Tyndale and Giles Coverdale translated the Bible after Wycliffe's translation. Our next and important point that is Pearl Brooks' novel Good Earth won for her Nobel Prize. The novel throws a light on the various elements that constitute change between Eastern and Western minds. Our next and important point about Nathaniel Hawthorne's novel that is Fanshawe was his first published work, which he published anonymously in 1828. Our next and most important point the elements of Senecan plays are dedication, sensationalization, murder, revenge, and supernatural elements. I repeat this point the elements of Senecan plays are didacticism, sentimentalism, murder, revenge, and supernatural elements. Our next and important point is the Thomas Hardy's one act drama in words The Dionysus is an epic drama of the war with Napoleon in three parts, 19 acts, and 130 scenes. Our next and important point is the Chartist movement, a working class movement for political reform, took a concrete shape in England in 1930s. Our next point is Roger S. James' book, The Schoolmaster, is very important for net point of view. It is written in 1563 and published posthumously in 1570. It attempts to establish the basis of a discourse on the ed- nature of education in a society. Our last point that is the William Shakespeare turned to John Gower for a source for his drama that is Pericles, Prince of Tyre. Now, thanks for watching, dear learners, and don't forget to subscribe and be continued with us.